Hi everyone, hope you're safe and still taking care of yourselves. Um, now, I'd like us now to continue with our work where we stopped last time. The last topic we talked about or we looked at was on areas. We talked about areas of regular shapes, including a rhombus, a trapezium, a parallelogram, also the squares and the rectangles, and also the circle. Earlier, we had talked about length and perimeter. We talked about conversion of lengths and also perimeter of different shapes. Hope you still remember that. Earlier, I also sent you the answers to mark your work that we did before we closed the school. Ensure you do the corrections if you have any. Right now, I'd like us to move on and look at the surface areas of some objects. So we'll talk about surface area of a cube, a cuboid, and also we talk about the surface area of a cylinder. So we'll start with the first one, and I'd like us to start with the surface area of a cube. So a cube, remember a cube, all the sides are equal and all the faces are equal. So surface area is the area of individual faces added up in an object. So we get the area of the faces and then we add them up. We talk about a closed cube, and also we talk of an open cube, or we talk of closed and open objects. So in the case of a closed cube, we'll have 6 faces, and in the case of an open cube, we'll have 5 faces. So in the closed cube, to get the surface area, which is SA, we'll talk of the area of one side, which is a square, multiplied by the number of faces, which are 6 faces. So in this case, 6 into brackets, side times side. So when you work out your question, you'll get 384 centimeters squared after opening the brackets. If it is an open cube, we'll have now 5 faces. So it's the area of one side, which is side times side, or one face I mean, then multiply by the faces, which are 5. So work out your question, you open the brackets carefully, and then you get your answer as 320 centimeters squared in this case. The next one is a cuboid. So a cuboid, remember the faces are not equal, but the faces take the shape of a rectangle. So all the faces are rectangles. So if it is a closed cuboid, how many faces? There will be 6 faces. And so to get the surface area of a closed cuboid, we'll get the area of one rectangle which is opposite, or one face is always opposite to another face, and the two of them are equal. So we'll be talking of, for example, the front face times 2 because of the rear face, which you cannot see. We talk of the bottom and the top. So if we get the area of one face, we multiply by 2. Then the area of this face, for example, times 2 because of the other opposite and equal face. So your working will be arranged like this. So these will be 6 faces because 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives you 6. So you substitute the dimensions in your question. And so for example, this is now 5 times 3 multiplied by 2. So this is the front face times 2. This is the side face multiplied by 2. And then we have the bottom multiplied by 2. Then open your brackets carefully and you have your answers for those faces, and then add those answers in this case to get 94 centimeters squared. Those are 6 faces. If it is an open cuboid, we have to minus 1 face, and mostly it is the top because the top is open. So we will not talk of 6 faces, there will be 5 faces. So for the bottom, we will not say times 2. Remember, this bottom is the only one, this is open. So we talk of length times width, but here we talk of the front and the back face. So you have to say to brackets 2 because of the other face, and also the side one into brackets 2. So substitute your dimensions or your measurements, and then This is what you have. Then open those brackets carefully and then add those individual areas, and then you have 74 centimeters squared as your surface area. The other one is the surface area of a cylinder. A cylinder is circular. It takes the shape of a circle, and then so here we'll talk of the area of the top, the area of the bottom, and the area of the curved surface. So a closed cylinder, we start with the closed cylinder. So for you to get the surface area of a closed cylinder, we have said the top is closed and the bottom is closed. So we have two circles, the bottom and the top. Remember how to get the area of a circle, pi r squared. But in this case, because there are two circles, we have to say 2 times the area of one circle, then we'll add to the area of the curved surface. How do you work out the area of the curved surface? Remember we said the curved surface, when it is opened up, it forms a rectangle, and so the rectangle will be equivalent to, the length will be equivalent to the circumference, and the width of that rectangle will be equivalent to the height. So that's why it is pi dh. Then substitute your measurements in the formula. In this case, you have the pi and then the radius, 7 times 7, add to the area of the curved surface, which is 22/7 pi, times the diameter, and not the radius. Note, this should be the diameter because you are working out the circumference. Then times the height, which is now 20 centimeters. After that, open your brackets and simplify carefully and cancel where we have common divisors. And then you'll have your answers, the two separate answers, then add them together. The other one is when it is an open cylinder. When it is open, we don't have the top, we'll talk of the bottom only. So we'll have the area of one circle plus the area of the curved surface. So we'll have that, substitute your measurements in the formula, and then simplify your work carefully, and then you'll have the two answers for the two different shapes, then add them to get the surface area of an open cylinder. On the other hand, we have some points you need to note. So I want you to go through those points and make sure you understand before you attempt those questions on surface area, on cylinders. All this information mostly is on cylinders, but there is also 1 or 2 information about any other object regarding surface areas. Thank you for listening. All the best.